Sometime back, I was bugging Rob about preaching about tithing because I just believe firmly that there are a lot of people maybe that don't realize how God blesses you for tithing. I mean, he says that he's going to pour out his riches on you that you can't imagine. And what we found is not only does he take care of our finances for us, and he provides that way, but he also provides so many blessings that we just need in certain circumstances. And so anyway, he said, I will preach on it if you'll share your experiences with tithing. And so what could I say? You know, I was kind of caught. When I first came to Colorado, I went to work for the J.H. Beerley Alfalfa Milling Company, my very first real job. I had been raised in church, so I knew about tithing, and I think we had had some messages on it recently. But anyway, when I started working, you know, that was a long time ago. I made $40 a week, $1 an hour, more or less, because we never knew how long I was going to work. And I knew that tithing was 10% of your income, and your offering was on top of that. So when I started out, I would tithe my $4 and then add 25 cents to it. Well, before too long, I got a raise of $2.50. So then I could afford to tithe on what I was getting and add 50 cents to it. And before long, I got another raise, $5 raise. I was a believer, definitely. And I have to say that the Lord was so good to me because the Beerley family just took me in like one of them. I was up here from Texas, knew nothing, but they just embraced me, and so that was a blessing in itself. When the girls were 9 months old, we went through a time that hopefully not too many parents have to go through, but Sherry got sick first. She was having diarrhea and vomiting, so I took her to the doctor, and he looked at her, and I just thought, you know, he could give her some medicine. We'd go back home, and that would be it. But he looked at her, and he said, she's dehydrating. We need to put her in the hospital. So Carrie was a little bit behind her. She went in the next day, and after a couple of days, they just kept going downhill and downhill. And finally, they were having, I think that was before they had ICUs, because they just put nurses with them around the clock. So they were bathing them, and they were feeding them intravenously. Had gotten to the point Sherry didn't even know us. She just didn't know what was going on. And Larry, we were talking to the doctor, and Larry said, well, maybe we should take them down to Children's Hospital. This was in the evening of the second or third day. And Dr. Rubright said, let me try one more thing. And he did a cut down on their ankles, that's what he called it, and gave them a half a unit of blood apiece. By the next morning, they were just doing so much better. And I think we took them home probably after that next day or so, didn't we? And we found out that by then, they were the first ones that had this virus that came into the hospital. But by the time they left, there was another 2 or 3 babies that were in. But they knew what to do for them, so they didn't get as sick as the girls did. That was a blessing.